This work is funded in part by the Minnesota Humanities Center, with money from the Arts and Heritage Fund that was created with the vote of the people of Minnesota on November 4th, 2008.
Hello, hi, hey, and welcome back to SPNN Forum. I am your host, the Captain, Jiccarra and Hollman, and today we are here with Trilingua Cinema. I have two amazing Black executive directors here, Sid and Ismal. Welcome to SPNN Forum.
Thank you for having us.
Aren't we so formal?
It's so
very,
formal. We love it here. This is amazing.
But I do have my foot up on the table, so it's relaxed too.
It's relaxed.
So we're good.
It's a good vibe.
It's a vibe. It's a vibe.
It's a vibe all the time. I'm sorry, I'm gonna get into it. Okay, so we're here today talking about Trilingua Cinema. And if I could tell you what I believe it means from my research, I believe Trilingua Cinema is a traveling cinematic experience for the East Side. Am I wrong or am I right?
You are exactly right. Yes. Yeah. Trilingua Cinema is just that right now. So we are a group of friends and neighbors who got together with the mission of opening up a multilingual, accessible movie theater for the East Side of St. Paul, because we don't have a movie theater in our neighborhood. And interestingly, the East Side of St. Paul is actually like a third of St. Paul's city population that lives over there. So right now we operate as a pop-up. So we have a big screen that we set up outdoors in the Sculpture Park on East 7th Street. Every summer we're there. We do like 3 screenings a month there throughout the summer, and then we do pop-ups in different locations around the East Side.
Wow, you just actually educated me on something, because I thought you were just like renting out spaces, but you said, no, we come with the screen.
We come with the screen. Yep. We've got our own projectors. We've got speakers.
Generator.
Okay.
Popcorn machine, the whole thing.
Yeah. Okay, so you got confessions and everything.
Yeah.
Concessions.
We can do that
so
too.
You got concessions and confessions at your movie experiences. So can I maybe have like a movie in the park type of experience with you?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So it's a really cool space on East 7th Street. It's actually, the land is stewarded by another organization on the East Side that we partner with often called Indigenous Roots Arts and Cultural Center. So they've set up sculptures in that park. So it's like, it's a beautiful space with artwork all around. They do a graffiti festival, and they have for a couple summers now. So there's like big, panels of graffiti art in the park, and they have string lights across the park, and we always set up our screen and a table with popcorn, and usually Ismal's on the grill doing hot dogs for people.
Yeah.
Yes, he's our
director of grilling too.
Director of grilling.
Yeah,
Do you wear the sandals when you do it?
I wish. That should be a company expense, really. That should be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's fun, and people bring their blankets, bring their folding chairs, and set up and talk to people. We're really trying to just have more communal experiences for people to get to know each other, and we've found that showing films is a really good way of bringing people together and being able to create the opportunity for folks to get to know their neighbors. Yeah.
Trilingua. So that means it's happening in 3 languages? And what are the 3 languages?
Yeah, so the 3 major languages that are spoken on the East Side. So the East Side is a very diverse community with a lot of refugees and immigrants as well. But the 3 major languages that we show films in are English, Spanish, and Hmong.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And we have tried to branch out into other languages and played with the ideas of showing some films in Somali and Karen as well. But, so,
wow.
Yeah.
We're branching out.
Yeah. It's been an interesting thing for us to try to find films that are shown in multiple languages, not just, I think Spanish is more accessible and English is obviously most accessible for us. But finding films that are dubbed into Hmong or, like you said, Somali or Karen has been kind of a challenge. And so we've been able to work with local filmmakers in some fronts to be able to show their works and then also showcase films in other languages too. So yeah, that's something we're always open to and looking for is like, are there local filmmakers who want to show their work? And it's something we're excited to do. Yeah, yes. And we know that's a challenge too, is like finding a place for people who are new filmmakers and looking to screen their work. I mean, we can't do everything all the time because like you know mentioned at the beginning, we're a mobile pop-up, so there's some logistical challenges to that of like, okay, we can't show that many movies in a year because we just don't have a physical location yet. But as much as we can, we want to be supportive to local independent filmmakers too.
Wow.
Yeah.
So as a local filmmaker myself, you know, and speaking for the local filmmaker community, how do we get involved and express interest or create these experiences for screenings of local films?
You can reach out to me directly, or our kind of general email is trilinguacinema@gmail.com.
Okay.
And we'll usually set up a call and just try to figure out like, oh, does this make sense to be a part of like a short film thing that we're organizing with a group? Or is it like you want to do a premiere of your like feature length film, and we can set up and figure out, I think part of the benefit of what we have right now, although it's a challenge, it's also a strength in a way, is being able to do pop-ups in locations that make sense for the film that you're screening. So sometimes what we'll do is like, you know, we'll think about, oh, we're showing it in this particular space. Like this last weekend, we did a music documentary on Record Store Day at a record shop.
Oh, you were there.
Yeah, so we were at Cadence Records and Coffee on the east side after their whole day of Record Store Day. And in the back, we set up our screen and showed a music documentary. And so the same thing is true of like working with local independent filmmakers, is we can like have a conversation and see, oh, what's your film about? And does it make sense to show it in, like, where would be a fun place to have that experience? And I think that's something and I'm sure every like film exhibition person is trying to figure out, is like how to have those experiences that make people want to leave their house and not watch it on the couch and do Netflix or Max or whatever, but like, oh, it would be cool to go see this in a record shop or go see this in the sculpture park, or, you know, however people can be a part of an experience. Yeah.
That's really cool. That sounds like a really cool date night, because you get the sculpture part, so you can like maybe come early, do a little walking around. You get that. That's a cheap date night, actually.
You know,
Yeah.
we get a lot of people on dates at our movies. So yeah.
So how much can somebody expect to pay for this experience?
So that's a new thing for us. It's been free. So like we've been volunteering and doing this for free for the last almost 4.5 years. So this is the first time this year, now that we have our first paid full-time staff person, we're also like, okay, we got to make the transition and figure out how we get into our own space. And part of that's also figuring out like, what is the strategy for ticketing? Because we don't want it to be exclusive. We don't want it to be a thing where people can't come to the movie because the cost is prohibitive. So we have been trying to figure out like, is it a pay what you can kind of thing? Some of the films we've done, or it's like a $5 ticket or a $10 ticket.
Nice.
But that's something we're still working out, is like what's also a sustainable model, so we can balance like what we get as grant funding, donations, and then also ticket sales from community. But the stuff we do at the sculpture park is always free, because we're outside. We're just like, this is for the community. Anyone can come. And it's, I think, just a really fun way for people to get to know one another and see something happening in the community. One summer we had a guy come up to us and was just like, man, this kind of stuff doesn't happen in my neighborhood where I'm from. And he said he lived in Chicago and had just moved to Minnesota, so he was like surprised to see that people were out at night on kind of a relatively busy road and like hanging out together. So it's that kind of thing we want to continue to happen, and see people come together and feel safe and feel seen also in the community. So we will hopefully be able to keep doing those screenings for free.
I only pay when it's free. That's a date night that I'm going to pay for.
Hey.
Okay. Or maybe I'll come for free and find my date.
Hey, yeah, we got to set up like speed dating.
You know,
Next
around the
Valentine's Day.
sculpture garden.
Yeah.
That would be
That's
cute.
that's a beautiful experience. I'm losing my ear here. So tell me, why East St. Paul?
That's where we all live. So all three of us, live and primarily work on the East Side. And as an under kind of invested in and developed community, there aren't that many kind of third spaces for recreation or meeting other people or just hanging out. So especially after the pandemic, it's a much needed kind of energy in space. So, and I think as Sid said earlier, we're a third of the city, and we don't have a movie theater. They don't want us to watch movies. You know what I'm saying? Like, so just kind of bringing more spaces like that, into the community.
Okay, so I love that you said there was a need. There was the absence of. And so it was created. Like how? What went into the conception of this and who conceived it? Like, did you guys get pregnant with this idea?
No, so there's a third. Our friend Jordy, who also lives on the east side of St. Paul, another neighbor and friend. He was the one who started Trilingua just as an idea of like, I think in the pandemic it was everybody was at home and like isolated and felt sort of, I think he felt the need to respond to that in a way, and also just is also another person that loves watching movies. Like, funny enough, none of us are filmmakers or have like an arts background. We were previously community organizers, and Jordy's right now a union bricklayer, and so it's like we don't have that sort of artistic background necessarily. But he was thinking, how do we sort of bring community together and respond to that need of like, well, we don't have a movie theater. And so he started just talking to people, other organizations and businesses in the community, and seeing if they wanted to partner on stuff. And then, we kind of got involved. And I think he was also sort of noticing the same thing of like, this is an extremely diverse community and people speak lots of different languages and we all kind of stay within our own communities, but there's also a beautiful thing that happens when we all come together and learn about each other, and being able to see that on screen or see somebody else tell their story through film is like such a, I don't know, it's a easy way to understand somebody and to start to understand somebody. And I think that's kind of, I guess, what attracted us even to being a part of it was like, oh, we're developing this sense of community, but also being able to share stories with one another.
Amazing. Amazing. I love that because you're creating a sense of community while also, bringing community together. And I love that you play some classic children's films like Spy Kids, and then you're showcasing it in a different language so that new kids have access to such a classic. So that is amazing.
Thank you.
Okay. Hi, I am Jiccarra and Hollman. Welcome back to SPNN Forum. We are talking to Trilingua Cinema with the one and only Executive Director, Sid, and the Community Engagement Director, Ismal, doing some amazing things.
Thank you.
So now I want to talk to you about this marathon that you have going on as of the 19th. You get one pass, you pay $12, and you get to see 3 films?
Yes.
What?
Yes, yeah.
I might actually pay for that too, because that's cheap. That's real cheap. Why so cheap?
We're here for the community, so we're not trying to make a ton of money off of this. We want people to come out and to experience, not just these films, but being in community together, especially at a historic theater like the Mounds Theater, which, unfortunately doesn't get to show a lot of movies throughout the year. This is a great experience. So, we want to keep it affordable so people can come and enjoy themselves.
So I see that you were showing Flow,
Yeah.
Scene, and The Substance. Who chose those movies and why?
It's kind of funny how we pick movies. I guess there's always like, sometimes we try different things. Sometimes we're like, okay, we'll do a poll on social media and whoever votes, then we'll do that movie. Or if we're showing a movie in a certain place, we'll do the same thing, like leave a voting box and people who come there can leave, film suggestions. But that one came down to just the three of us, me, Jordy, and Ismal, sort of like, what would be a fun movie marathon thing to get into? And so we sort of landed on those options because it's a little bit of something for everyone, it feels like. And it's also some movies we were like, maybe, I mean, they got some award season recognition, but we were also like, I don't know if everybody got to see these or if there was enough of a theatrical window for folks in the community to be able to go out and see them and experience it in a movie theater setting. So that was part of it. So we were like, Flow it's a cool animated film with no spoken parts. It's all just music and the animation happening, and so that in itself is like kind of an interesting thing for what we're trying to do of like creating this space that's open to everybody. And like a movie without any spoken part, it's like it's all the emotion that's portrayed on the character's face or how they're interacting with each other, and that's something we can all come and see and be a part of. And so that was an interesting one. Sing Sing I saw last year at the main cinema, actually, and I was like, I love this movie, and I feel like it should have gotten nominated for Best Picture, but it didn't. And we like Coleman Domingo, so
big fans.
Big fans. And then The Substance, we were kind of like, okay, so this, the Mounds Theater is a historic theater on the east side of St. Paul that does primarily, it's run by a group of volunteers, and they primarily do like theatrical work. So they put on plays most of the time, but they do have the ability to sort of transition their space into a movie theater again. And the fun thing about it is, well, I don't know if it's fun, I guess depending on who you are, but it's, they say it's haunted. And so we were like, ooh, we should show a scary movie. That face.
Scary things scare me, but keep going.
And so we landed on then The Substance was kind of a good in-between, because it's not so much related to the haunting aspect of the theater, but still maybe that can sort of play a part in it. It's more like a body horror film and has, I don't know.
Yeah, it's body horror. Yeah. Not to give too much away.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see that. Actually, the film that I am most excited about is the one that is showing on May 31st at Indigenous Roots Cultural Center, and that is Paris is Burning. That one looks good.
Yes.
It is.
Yeah.
Why should I come see that?
You should come see it because it's an amazing documentary. And it's, again, I think exposure and storytelling, like highlighting the sort of ballroom scene in New York in the 80s and late 90s. It's like that sort of history should be told and people should be exposed to those experiences. And I think what we always hope too is that after films, people make connections, or before films. And so it's like, if it interests you, maybe you'll meet somebody else out of that experience that you share a common interest with,
Okay.
And that's true, I guess, for any film that we show. It's like, it could be like we showed Shrek 2 in Spanish, and it's like maybe you make a friend because you guys love Shrek 2 after the movie.
Bond over Shrek.
So now when you do the lingual thing that you do, right? So when you show Shrek 2 in Spanish, do you then put up English subtitles? We've been doing a family film series in Spanish, entirely in Spanish. So film in Spanish and the subtitles in Spanish at Indigenous Roots. Okay.
Because that's something we also noticed is like there isn't theaters really that are showing, in the Twin Cities at least, that are showing films entirely in Spanish. And there's a pretty big Latinx population on the east side of St. Paul and west side too, so folks come over. But creating that space so everybody gets to have that experience of going to a movie theater.
Okay, very
Yeah.
nice. So we talked a lot about community. Ishmael,
Yeah.
your job as the director of community engagement, which I think is phenomenal that it's a, I don't want to like just throw your business out there like that, but it's a volunteer role and you're like, I'm the director and you're like taking charge of it.
Yeah.
Tell me, what do you do?
I think they just hired me because I'm good at talking to people.
Okay.
But yeah, I just just make connections and just kind of get out into the crowd and just engage with people and see what they're interested in.
Yes, okay.
How we can funnel them back into something larger. So it's really just about knowing people and cultivating a space where they feel comfortable enough to maybe pursue an idea that they wouldn't have before. Maybe join a film series we're in, or connect them with some filmmakers if they're interested. So it's a really organic and communal process.
Okay.
So yeah, not a science yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Science yet.
So tell me, like, what can we look forward to for the future of Trilingua Cinema?
Ooh. Hopefully a brick and mortar theater.
Hopefully a brick and that's the end goal. It's
Yeah.
well, so we have some exciting things coming up. So
Okay.
this summer we're going to do a so one aspect of this is in the future when we have our own physical space, we want to also serve the youth of the community on the east side of St. Paul. So we've talked about how we can maybe have like a youth employment program in the theater.
Okay.
And we're partnering with Indigenous Roots this summer, their Youth Roots Youth Cafe. And so they will come down to the sculpture park with us again and help set up and sell drinks from Roots Cafe.
nice.
And they'll also help us out with setting up the screen and doing concessions and sort of getting additional job experience working with us throughout the summer. And it's kind of an opportunity for us too to learn, like, how does this work if we, eventually get into our own space and have youth that we're working with, like what are the things that we can teach and provide as well. And along with that, we're going to have them work with a teaching artist to start to learn some filmmaking skills, so they get the opportunity then to make short films that will screen at the sculpture park this summer. So that'll be a really cool sort of next step and next chapter for us. And then we also have our film series coming up at the sculpture park again this summer.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I have to ask you this because you're saying we have a goal, we have plans, and that plan include getting a brick and mortar. So what is your call to action? How can we, the listening, the watching community, support you get closer to that goal?
Come to movies. That's the
Okay.
main piece. I think it's as often as you can, as often as you can come out and see a movie and meet somebody at that experience and continue to come back or tell other people about the experience that you had after you came to a movie. And I think this is true not just for Trilingua even. Obviously, this is like our goal to open up this space, but just in general, supporting filmmakers and supporting like local independent cinemas is a really big ask that we have.
Yes. What I hear you saying is if we want more films made for us by us, we have to support those films. I know Tyler Perry gets a lot of flack, but he is also creating work opportunities and paychecks for families. And we want Trilingua Cinema to be successful, and in order for it to be successful, we need to show up.
Yes.
We need to come physically and be in space, build community. We need to, new filmmakers come see you guys and give you more, it should be so many filmmakers coming to you that, we're booking out 2 years in advance, and that there's just a nice catalog of films that you guys can just pick and say, okay, we can't play it now, but we can play it here.
Yes, yeah.
I think that should be the goal.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Goal.
Right.
Yeah.
And you're so right. It's like, I think it's really the experience that you get when you go out to a theater and sitting next to somebody and they're laughing or they're crying. It's so different than when you're sitting at home on your couch by yourself watching a movie on your computer, on your TV, and it's we're trying to create that or bring back the desire, I guess, for people to be in community together. And maybe film is that vehicle. It could be anything else, I suppose, but that's the one that we've kind of chosen to use.
To do. Okay, very nice. I'm excited for the filmmakers, like create your own film aspect, the teachings of that. I love that you guys are branching out to create, eventually, create opportunities for young folks to learn from the legends, because we do have actually some great filmmakers here within our community that have been doing it for years and years, and that is looking to kind of help, bring up the next generation of filmmakers. Yeah. So Ismail, what community engagement things do you have brewing?
We always are looking for more volunteers.
Come on, say that.
Especially during the summer. More volunteers, please.
Yeah.
And you can contact us at our email, trilingua@gmail. And yeah, not a huge ask, but even if you want to come for one event and just, I don't know, maybe learn about showcasing a film or grilling for me,
Stand in to grill.
Yeah, stand in to grill. It's a great experience just to meet people, the people you live with.
Yes.
And just have a great time. So yeah, we are always looking for more volunteers.
Okay. Thank you. So we're looking for volunteers, and we're also looking for participants and attendants to come to Trilingua Cinema, the traveling cinema experience. Thank you so much, Sid and Ismail, for sharing Trilingua with me.
Thank you.
And sharing it with the community so that we can get more folks to come and go. And how can we find you?
Our social media is a great place to check out. So we post a lot on Instagram, Facebook, and then we also have a newsletter or mailing list that we update pretty frequently with what films we have coming up. So on our website, it's trilinguacinema.org. And our Instagram is Trilingua Cinema, same with our Facebook page. So those are good places to check for upcoming events.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
This has been a beautiful episode, a cinematic episode of SPNN Forum with Trilingua Cinema. I want to thank Sid and Ismail for joining us today, and I want to thank you for watching. I am your host, Jiccarra and Hollman, and have yourself a great day.
This work is funded in part by the Minnesota Humanities Center, with money from the Arts and Heritage Fund that was created with the vote of the people of Minnesota on November 4, 2008.